want to learn the art of the ninja, then you need to check out Ninja Slayer, which is arguably going to be one of the funniest anime of 2015. If you were hoping that the second episode was going to have a higher budget and they were going to do that stick figure animation that you saw from the first episode, well, prepare to be disappointed. That is featured again in this week's episode, although to great comedic effect. This week's episode was also fun, and it also reaffirms the fact that every single time Ninja Slayer kills a ninja, not only are they going to say sayonara, but they are going to explode. Sayonara! This week's episode opens up with big shock, Ninja Slayer killing another ninja, but the way he goes about doing it is really funny. First, he's still in his full red Ninja Slayer costume, but on top of that is a limousine driver's costume as well, so it just doesn't work at all. It's basically like when the Ninja Turtles decided to wear trench coats. You can obviously tell that they're just turtles wearing trench coats, just like you can tell that Ninja Slayer is basically just a big badass ninja looking like a limousine driver. But what's really cool is the limo has this big sword on the top, looks really goofy and funny, and basically he's driving them to their destination of hell. And this is when this big action sequence ensues, which again just reaffirms that there's going to be moments where there's going to be good animation, and then there's going to be those weird stick figure moments, which honestly I think are really funny because they sort of play with your emotions a little bit. You almost expect, like when he's going to do the big finishing move, that it's going to be real flashy and well animated, and 90% of the time it's not. Usually it's just him like hitting them in the head and their head exploding with decapitation. He even is able to take out all of those other goons, and they even have this like weird green blood coming out of their necks. I don't even know if this means maybe they're like robots or something. Maybe there's going to be people like that in the series. It's going to be easy to believe, because in the second half of the episode, Ninja Slayer fights against this one cybernetic ninja by the name of Cloudbuster, who's this flying ninja who has this mechanized body. His legs actually kind of look like Ed 209 from RoboCop. And this is probably the best sequence of the episode because it shows that Ninja Slayer is going to be able to use his hidden Naraku ninja abilities, but maybe not of his own will. It almost seems like it's kind of like Kurama from Naruto. It's like his Super Saiyan, if you will. It basically makes him go insane. But I love the fact that it only possesses half of his body. So one half you have the typical red Ninja Slayer, the other half you have this like ethereal, like purple looking flames coming off of his body. His eyes are bulging out, and this leads to another really great action scene where they're literally flying through the skies, and he ends up fighting against Cloudbuster, sending him through this big techno blimp, and ends up just basically filleting everyone's asses. And that's pretty much the bulk of this week's episode. Ninja Slayer doing what he does best, which is slaying ninjas. The episode does end with him meeting this one new character in the middle of the ocean who finds him on a jet ski, and this guy apparently looks like he's led a life of crime, and he feels this is like a moment of karma for him to sort of like not be such a bad guy anymore, so he decides to help out Ninja Slayer. Who knows where it's going to go from here? The intro indicates that we're going to see some other characters, some female characters, this one old guy. I don't know when they're going to introduce them quite yet. They're obviously going to be Ninja Slayer's buddies eventually. That's what the intro indicates anyway. So what's the rundown? On this week's episode of Ninja Slayer, another just really funny episode of the series, which basically lets us all know what this whole show is going to be about. You know, the first episode of the series really caught me by surprise because there was none of the stick figure animation we saw in any of the previews. There was no indication that's what they were going to do. And a lot of people thought that maybe that was just going to be a joke with the first episode, like, haha, this is going to be like Inferno Cop, except with little splices of animation thrown in. But the second episode reaffirms it is going to be a mixture of those two elements. Now, I still don't think it's a bad series. I always find myself laughing. Some of the action scenes are really cool. I still love the freaking character design of this show. The leader of the Sokaya group, Laomoto, is ridiculous. He's so disproportionate. He looks like a One Piece character. He's absolutely massive and incredibly commanding. Then you have the character of Cloudbuster, who is this other ninja character. And something that I need to stress is like 90% of the time in this show, whenever there's like a ninja character, they don't look like ninjas whatsoever. Like, at freaking all. There was that character at the beginning who was that one Cross Katana Syndicate member. He had a ninja mask, but that's about as far as it went. And he did have those cool abilities with these brass knuckles which could actually turn on fire and everything. That was pretty cool. I'm really interested to see more of like all the villains that he's going to be fighting in the show. But really, this was just another incredibly simple, stupid, fun episode of Ninja Slayer, which if you're a fan of action anime, check it out. You're probably going to be able to get the joke, which is basically it's just a big parody of all over-the-top action anime and what Americans think of anime in general. I still think it's a funny show. It might not have been the show that we were waiting for. It might not have been the big next Studio Trigger hit, but I still think it's a lot of fun, and we should all check it out, especially if you're a fan of action anime, in particular old anime from the 80s, because it just reeks of that vibe. It's still a very beautiful show. The backgrounds in particular just pop right off the screen. Ninja Slayer himself is really funny and really awesome, and I just love the way he used shurikens in this episode. They also explain that his shurikens are a little more powerful than the typical ninjas. They equate them to literally just throwing pebbles. So Ninja Slayer is a badass. He was awesome in this week's episode, which I thought was really funny. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5. Just a really fun episode of the series that you should definitely check out. If you saw this week's episode, please tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. Did you have a favorite action scene from this week's episode? A favorite new character who showed up? What do you want to see from the rest of Ninja Slayer? Thank you guys for watching my review. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to share it with all your friends and subscribe to the channel. You guys can also follow us on social media, and you should also check out our brand new video podcast show. It's pretty freaking awesome. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, sayonara! Christian, give me a sayonara. Sayonara! There you go. That was your gift this week.